And good morning, and welcome to your Thursday, maybe Panamine edition of Things You Might Have Heard, Thursday, May the 19th, specifically of 2022. My name is Jay Cleveland Payne. We have a slight delay going in the Matrix today, so bear with us. The sound and the movements may not be exactly in sync, but trust me, the love is there for the news stories. Five news stories to a very quick start to your day so you can go off to your water cooler talk or your radio talk or your walkie talkie talk or your talkie talkie talk and get a couple things in that you might not have heard about, not exactly the top of the mainstream news of the day. Some things that throughout the day yesterday were pretty interesting, but did not get a lot of love because there's other bigger, more pressing and engaging things out there. We call ourselves your news side piece. We are not your main source of news, so we can't give you the main drip of the big stuff. In fact, we're an aggregator. We don't actually report things. We basically get it from other people, but we like to give you things that we know are kind of out there that you may be looking to see, seeing what's going on there. Good morning going out there to Christina with a K. Thank you so much for joining us live this morning. You don't have much choice because I basically just woke you up before I started this recording, but thank you so much for everybody popping up live. If you want to get a shout out, give us a comment in the comments for wherever you're watching this, and we'll do what we can to give you shout outs, whether it is live or in the future. Ooh. Main website is thisisaconversationproject.com. Check us out for more details on what's going on, and you'll explain some of those details in a bit. Right now, let's get on to the news. Top story for the morning, or for yesterday, if you will. Taylor Swift tells grads to embrace cringe in NYU commencement speech. CNN.com gives us this link here particularly, and this is the season for graduations. Yes, graduations are happening all over time. Fun fact, a personal fact, just got a notice from yesterday from a Facebook friend. It's basically reminding us that we graduated, our class of graduation in 1992, graduated 30 years ago from high school. Basically, getting comments from all people on the chat that we are all kind of old and the math can't be right. And where she assured us, no, the math is right. We're graduated from high school 30 years ago. And most of us college would be 25 to 26 or so years ago from there. Yes, graduation. I can't tell you who my graduation speakers were for either my college or my high school graduation because it's been 30 years. But the folks at NYU and in class of 22 will definitely remember Taylor Swift because Taylor Swift is Taylor Swift. She also gave a pretty good speech telling folks that, hey, life's going to be a little weird. Life's going to be kind of cringy. So you might as well get used to it now and not expect the perfect life that may have been played up to you in the past, especially in the past couple of years dealing with pandemic life and the aftermath of a Donald Trump presidency. Two things that are two separate things, but really come together in a really weird way for our world these days. The hangover, all that stuff, besides ourselves, Taylor Swift is one of the first people that were basically shouting out for commencement season. I'm sure there'll be the traditional roles of supercuts of people doing speeches on the news fairly soon as more graduations are taken care of. Let's go to a story, the next one for this morning. It reads like this: Martin Schrecke released from prison to halfway house after serving less than 5 of 7 years. This particular version we pulled from arsteca.com, but Martin Schrecke, once this thing got verified, it went all over the place. We first knew something about this from a weird tweet on Twitter. So Twitter is still breaking news, I guess, about him checking the halfway house. And then we got some information via more social media from his ex-girlfriend, maybe wife, the reporter who basically quit her job to stand up for Farmer Bro. This is Farmer Bro. This is the guy that was famous for basically raising the price of medications by thousands of percent for things that are relatively cheap to make stock prices for his company go well. That's not what popped him. What popped him was essentially not paying taxes for all practical purposes. The IRS and the money trails and the things in the company's not doing very well in tracking that extra money they were earning going forward. That's essentially what gets them all the time. It's not the fact that they do bad things. It's the fact that they get caught looking really silly, not doing the paperwork. And let's get one more less look at his smirk. Farmer Bro. There you are, Farmer Bro. Released from prison into a halfway house early. Good behavior. He completed his rehabilitation, so he's basically paid back or is paying back his debts to society. The money part will start paying back once he gets into the halfway house and starts working on that stuff. But everybody gets a chance to Everybody gets a second chance, third chance, 12th chance. We'll see what he does with this chance, or whether he'll get a chance to go on. Read further into the article about what he's actually banned from doing, what things he cannot do, because it is a bit interesting, and what he can go out there and do, what he can't do. A lot of times, like for example, people who do computer crimes can't touch computers, things like that. So that's more the details of what happens. But if you remember Farmer Bro, you should, because he's the reason why your insulin costs so much, or one of the reasons why. He's now out. He's out after not enough time, I would believe, and we'll see what he'll do with his life going forward, other than try to get his Wu-Tang album back and just smirk like a jerk. Next story: Britney Spears says she's definitely going through something, and we could cut off in the in the title when we put it over, but let's put the real picture up there so you can see the whole thing. This was our teaser story. Definitely going through something after pregnancy loss. This story was popped up as, I think it was the 4th. I popped it off my screen so I can't see it, of the range of 15 top stories to talk about this morning. And this is a story that we're going to actually gloss over pretty quickly. We're going to go through pretty quickly, because if you want to go deeper into this, you can go deeper into this. So Britney Spears is basically saying thank you to all her friends for love and support, all the fans for love and support, all the peoples for love and support. But she's also saying that she probably hit it a little too hard getting out of the hangover that was getting out of the conservatorship and trying to have a fresh, brand new life, and got really overexcited, extremely excited about having the fact that she was going to actually have another baby, something she wanted to do for a while. And it just isn't happening. So she's thankful for all the love and support she's having. But right now, the biggest thing she's saying that she's dealing with is loss of the baby, not so much being out of touch from the conservatorship. We will see more going on, and now that she's had some time to kind of process, and will process, we'll see exactly what comes from her very soon. Rumors of albums, rumors of new shows, rumors of things going on. But right now, when her focus was on a baby, and the focus not on right now, we'll see what she actually do to put her full focus back into other things. Moving on to the next story. U.S. Soccer reaches landmark deals with USWNT and USMNT. That's women's and men's national. U.S., of course. USA Today, ironically, is our full source of this one. And they didn't have the best story, the best write-up for this, but it's just the one that popped up early on that we could pull in to give you guys. But it does have a pretty solid breakdown of what's happening here. Basically, the women and the men are now going to get paid essentially equally. They're going to get paid on an equal scale going forward, which is good, because the women actually perform better than the men. The women actually win stuff and the men don't. You may say that men's soccer is a bigger draw, may make more money, but let's remember, this is United States. It's still soccer. Soccer is a third-tier sport at best here in the United States. So people care about soccer. People care when it's championship time. People care when you tell them a big name is there to play for and it's something, a big event. But when it comes to normal, everyday soccer stuff, we know from just watching ratings and watching attendance and watching where they play that national soccer here in the United States is not such a big deal. Yes, we have a national curling team, but they're not that such a big deal until the Olympics comes around. Nobody's watching curling now after Olympics have been done for 7 months. No, they're not. So this is a big deal when the women's team is performing well and performing better than the men's teams across the world. Then they're not getting paid nowhere near the amount of money that they could be making. And most of these players are actually playing overseas. Well, we'll talk about Britney Griner tomorrow, because they have to make up money because they can't make enough money in the States. Granted, soccer in the States doesn't make that much money, but it does make more money here in the States. And even the players that do go overseas that are men make top tier money versus women who are, of course, performing. It's a big deal that they're going to be an equal pay scale. Should they just cut the men's pay? I don't know. That might be a funny joke, but they're going to pay on an equal scale going forward for men and women's soccer. We'll see what this means for other national teams such as basketball and baseball, softball, things like that. But for right now, soccer, which is a global sport all the time, and which has a big response for people because the women's soccer team happens to be actually good. The men's soccer team has to be actually just mediocre, makes a big difference. Biden invoking Defense Production Act to address baby formula shortage. abcnews.go.com source for this one. And this is something that was basically going to happen. The president has the ability to use the Defense Production Act to basically put a company to work. They say, I'm going to write you a blank check for some stuff. Go build it, go make it, go deliver it. You'll get paid. The reason why companies have to be leery on how things work out is because they have to make sure that what they're making, the production, what they're producing, actually will pay off, actually will get a profit. Now, this is government rate, so it's not like they're going to make super profit, although they'll try to make it that way. But they're guaranteed to get paid for extra production for the baby formula because of what's happening right now. The fault of the baby formula fiasco here in the United States is essentially, I'm going to say, the fault of business being a bit greedy, not basically taking care of itself. The reason why some of these plants have been shut down is because they've had safety issues, they've had cleanliness issues, all those sorts of things. And instead of taking short amount of time to clean things up months and years ago to keep things in process so they wouldn't have these issues, it got to the point where there was a critical issue where because of cleanliness, because of bacteria, because of things in there, these places had to shut down completely for a long time in the middle of sort of pandemic times and not really planning for the future. In fact, basically 6 months ago, they said there'd be some sort of backup, loss of backup in the pipeline. And now it is here. There's literally no baby formula on the shelves, just like there's no ramen on the shelves when you go to the grocery store. And although ramen is not a crucial thing to have, you can eat something other than ramen. Us adults, babies are sort of living off the baby formula. And then, of course, the doctors and experts saying don't use the old formulas that you used in the past, although people are saying what the hell not. And of course, there's the staunch people who are saying, well, why don't you breastfeed? Well, that's a whole nother issue I'm not even going to get into on this show today. But right now, we know that Biden is doing some work. We'll see whether it's going to make a major difference. It'll make a difference eventually, because you still have to ramp up this stuff and get things going. Still a pipeline of things to get from here to there and get the things back up and get people paid to do these things. But coming soon, the baby formula shortage should be slightly alleviated, if not completely fixed, with a glut of baby formula for a while, because Biden's going to write a blank check and have the government pay for extra formula to get it out on the shelves. Our teaser story for today, we don't have a lot panned right now. In fact, this story I think is going to post as we are speaking, but this is something that happened late last night. It happened well after I was paying attention to posting stories in the morning, but this is something that is making the rounds across the internets and across the news feeds, national news. And we just happened to pull it from Fox News, which is kind of ironic, I think. Here's the headline. George W. Bush makes unfortunate Iraq gaffe when condemning Putin's Ukraine invasion. Paraphrase 43. Basically, what he was saying was, he was giving a long kind of spiel about, one person, an autocrat, having the power to wage war on one small nation. And unfortunately, in the end of the sentence, he says, in Iraq. No, actually, Ukraine. But then he says, yeah, actually Iraq too. So he kind of jokes, he kind of plays it off and jokes at it, says, yeah, I'm 75 years old, guys. I get these gaffes. But essentially he essentially said the loud parts out loud, maybe on purpose, maybe not on purpose, that people were thinking that George Bush, was the puppet behind puppet masters that was able to just roll into Iraq and just kind of, because he could, because we can. And he basically said those things out loud. Trust me, this is going to get a lot of love across the mainstream media, across the big time news sources. So, hey, here's some sneeze. There it goes. But we may talk about it tomorrow if you deem this one a cool one to talk about. We'll talk about how that can happen. But first, let's talk about your sleep, and maybe that's something you're missing if it's not missing great news stories, because we do great news stories, but we also have a love for sleep. These are mattresses, as you see in the image there, made in the USA. These are some of the best mattresses in the world, and these are mattresses that come to you in the mail via a box, just like many other mattress companies. Here comes that actual sneeze. It's not coming. Okay, so Bear Mattress, if you doing it live, folks. Bear Mattress can offer you the best sleep you've ever had, and it'll offer you the best discounts you've ever had, because you can get this mattress mailed to you in a box to your doorstep that you open up and you sleep on immediately. You just open it up, open the box, and the mattress just poops, just inflates, deflates, uncouples, whatever you want to call it, and then you sleep on it for as long as you want to. And if you want to stop sleeping on it after 365 days, you can send it back. Guess what? You're not going to get that far. You're going to get like day 3 and like, dude, I've never had a better sleep. I don't know what I've done with this mattress before. And it's not just one mattress. There's 4 different styles of mattresses for whatever your sleep style is. Try the hybrid, try the elite, take a test exactly which one you think will fit you, and you will find that it will fit you very well. Plus, they're offering 30% off site-wide values for discounts and free accessories such as pillows and sheets and things as a part of their Memorial Day sale. Check them out at thisisaconversationproject.com/bear mattress. This is an affiliate link, so we do get a little bit back from this one, but you will love them and you won't miss a thing except bad nights of sleep. Go to thisisaconversationproject.com/bear mattress. Get that taken care of today. You can stop by our main website anyway at thisisaconversationproject.com, and you can find out more details about the Conversation Project, things of our past, things we're doing in our future, things you can do to help us keep things going right now, including checking out other sponsors. And you can also check out our partnerships page and see there's some ways that you want to hook up with us so we can do better things together. We're always looking for that. Our feeds are on Facebook and Twitter. We post a new news story every 50 minutes on those websites, and we take the engagement with the public plus the algorithms to see how things go. On Tuesdays through Fridays, we post about 30 to 33 stories throughout the day, from midnight to one day to about 5 a.m. or so. When we cut things off, they get posted and they get judged and they get in the engagement. We put them into a spreadsheet that gives us an engagement score, and we give you top stories from the top 15, essentially the top half of those stories for the day. We use those as the most engaging. We find the ones that are most interesting and ones that may be something that are off the beaten path that you definitely might have missed. You probably didn't know Taylor Swift was doing commencement speeches, did you? Did you? And we put them out there for you to review and take on for your water cooler stuff for the day. Also, check out our website and go to our link at YouTube. That was not grammatically correct, but it's basically said the same thing. This is conversationproject.com/YouTube, and follow us on YouTube. Also subscribe and also hit notifications so get that little notification whenever we do this. About 5:50 a.m. every weekday morning. Today, things start with birthdays for today. On May 19th, Grace Jones. You may remember her, you may not. She's a few generations back, so all you young whippersnappers may not have got a good taste of Grace Jones. Grace Jones is a pioneering musician and actress and model, 71 years old today, so salute to you, Grace Jones. Also, Michael Che, turning 39 years old today. Not quite saying whether or not he's actually staying with Saturday Night Live. Now he's waffling and say, he's been thinking about it for the past couple of years because everybody thinks about transitions. So not sure whether he's going to stay very much longer as a team with Colin Jost or anyone there at Saturday Night Live doing Weekend Update and being a writer on the show. And JoJo Siwa, turning 19 years old today, still selling to kids and still selling to us that she's a pretty good lesbian, because that's what you do when you're 18. I guess. Devil's Food Cake Day is what we're celebrating today. So get yourself a nice, good chunk of dark chocolate Devil's Food Cake, or, just get yourself a Hostess cupcake. That basically works as well if you're in a pinch. They get a great piece of cake today. One more thing out the door before we go that you might not have heard of. 12% of moms say they use their smartphones during sex. I'm not sure what those 12% of moms use their smartphones for during sex. I'm not going to go deep into it and hope that any mom will tell me what they're using their cell phone during sex for and why they can be distracted, or maybe that is the distraction. I don't know. We're going to move on from there and wrap up for the day. This has been Things You Might Have Heard for Thursday, May 19th, 2022. I am still Jay Cleveland Payne, still very bewildered by that last fact that the internet has told us today. If you want to leave a comment, please do. Whether you're doing this live in the last few minutes or you are watching this as a future replay, leave a comment and we'll give you your prompts in the future. Every 50 minutes, we're posting more news stories so you can give us your engagement scores on there. And of course, we want you to follow the feed so you can make sure that you're getting those things there. I got the wrong scroll on there, but make sure you stop by our website and click on the sponsors link and see if there's some other sponsors other than Bear Mattress. We've got plenty of great sponsors to take care of you, or click on the partnership link and see if there's a way that we can partner up to work well together. Right now, we're going to work well together for preparing for the rest of our days. Hopefully you have a couple cool things to talk about with folks around the way, on the bus, in the Uber, at the office. In the meantime, we're working on 30 or so more to present to you in a span of 30 hours or so. So look out for those. They're coming. This has been Things You Might Have Heard for today, and we'll do it again tomorrow.